next? Who next? Who next?
All right, y'all. What's going on, WMMA fans? It's Combo Breaker 99.9 back with another Who's Next. Now, I know this one is kind of out there because y'all are used to me doing the Who's Next for like the top 5 or top 6 or whatever. But I had to do one for this young lady who's trying to make her comeback, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Shout out to my man BJ because he had asked a question on one of my IG posts. He was like, "Who's next?" For Karolina. And I've been thinking about that. Like right after the fight Saturday night, I was already thinking about it, but I didn't really plan on doing like a who's next for it. But yeah, shout out to my man No Filter MMA. So he's one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and do this. But yeah, man, this past weekend, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, she came away with a pretty solid win over, an unranked strawweight and Vanessa Demopoulos. She pretty much 30-27 there, in my opinion. Pieced her up, showcased some good striking, good takedown defense, and a good ground game. And she showed that fire. And when I saw that fire, it kind of made me say that I was wrong the first time about Karolina. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was trying to leave the door open for some of these fighters and just, before I say, hey, they need to hang it up or, they're done. Because if they can find the right direction in their career, they can revamp themselves. And, nobody's ever too old. Now that I'm getting older, I just got another birthday, my 40th. I have to say that it's never over until it's really over, So for somebody like Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who had a rough losing streak and is now bouncing back against some of these younger fighters and is still hanging with them, I say she deserves another go-round. She's made some improvements in her game. She scored 3 wins in a row against 3 unranked fighters. And I think that she deserves a chance, just like I always say about any of these up-and-comers that score 3 wins in a row against 3 unranked fighters. My rule is you get a top 15 opponent, right? It's just a question on who it should be. And I say that she deserves that now because, she's already pushing, 37 years old, 35, 36, something like that. She's in her mid-30s. And I think she's improving as much as she can. It's all about the fire at this point. Younger fighters, you can teach more, but older fighters, I think it's more of a mentality. You know what I mean? Like, you can teach them new things, but it's more about their mentality. Like, can they shake the feeling of, being out of their prime, or can they shake the feeling of just saying, oh man, like, I think my day is past. But it seems like to me, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, she's found another win, a second win, because she even told Dana White at her post-press fight conference that, she wants another chance. And, she changed her lifestyle, and that's another important thing. She said she changed her lifestyle and she was scared at first. She was scared of being uncomfortable, and she's glad that she did that. And that's one of the most important things. You got to change some things. I'm changing things in my life too, trying, and it's scary at first when you change certain things or you plan on changing things. You just have to understand that it's going to be for the best. And I think that Karolina has kind of found that flame again and found that reason for fighting again, and when you've been a fighter for so long and that's all I think you deserve another chance, because she hasn't suffered as much damage as she has in the past, and she's been improving in her style and just getting better. So with that being said, I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that's how I feel about some of these fighters that want to get better, and they make the right changes in life to keep it going. They deserve the reward. They deserve the reward. So just looking at the top 15 right here, like I said, I think she deserves a top 15, not necessarily like a top 10, or not saying she goes for a title eliminator yet, but looking at some of the names that we have here, she could definitely compete with some of these fighters. There's no reason not to, because some of these fighters here, they're kind of up and down as well, and they don't level up. So Karolina Kowalkiewicz, she can fall in that category too, because right now she's looking like one of the fighters, right? So if I had my choice on who to put her in there with next, I would say, let's look at the number 13 first, Luana Pinero. I say her first, even though she's higher than one of the names I want to give her, because right now I believe she's out on a hand injury. But I think that's a good fight for Karolina right there, because you got a young, hungry fighter here who is very strong, big for the division, has heavy hands, but at the same time, still doesn't really take full advantage of her gifts she doesn't take full advantage of her strengths. Like, she still hasn't really put together her striking in the best way, but she just has that puncher's chance, and she has that physical presence and that judo that could be dangerous to Karolina. And we could really see how good Karolina is on the ground now and how good she is at really trying to reverse position against stronger fighters. And that's a good shoe-in for her if Karolina is able to school another one of these young girls, right? She could jump right in at the number 13, because she's already, taking school girls like Sylvania Juarez, who's a little bit older, but somebody like Vanessa Demopoulos, who is strong and athletic and a good ground fighter, right? She was able to neutralize her with her straight striking. So I would love to see how Karolina's striking would fare against a fighter like Luana Pinero, who's big but has lack of defense. Like, can she keep her back with that jab all night and just commit to it and showcase her IQ? So I think Luana Pinero would be a good name if she can come back soon or recover from the hand injury. Next up, I'll say is the number 12, Michelle Waterson. Michelle Waterson, who has the win, in my opinion, over Luana Pinero, but no, they really gave the win to Luana Pinero. I think that's another good name because that's another veteran. They could kind of fight for that top 15 spot at this point. Michelle Waterson, she just signed, another 6-8 fight contract with the UFC, so this could be another name for her. She can test out how far she's come. And veteran versus veteran, I think that's a good one, because it would come down to seeing who could really level up at this point. And can Michelle Waterson rise to the occasion? She's come up short against fighters like Marina Rodriguez and Amanda Lemos, but she gave them trouble. She was able to give them trouble on the ground as well. So the strength and the kicks of Michelle Waterson sometimes I think can go a little under the radar because sometimes people think that her kick's a little bit predictable, but she's kind of been working on a new low kick game, and I like to see if Karolina Kowalkiewicz, she can neutralize the kicks with some good, powerful right hands. Again, I'd like to see her take down defense against Michelle because sometimes Michelle can kind of sneak in there and take you down and kind of control that half guard position, the top position on you. So, yeah, veteran versus veteran fight with them would be good, and that would probably be an ideal fight for Karolina because, again, it's at a higher rank. She could get closer to top 10 by, just making the right chess moves. All right, last but not least, I'll say the number 14, Angela Hill. Angela Hill, that'd be a good fight for Karolina. I know that was a fight that was kind of talked about a little while back. I believe Angela Hill said she wanted that fight, or it was either me saying that. I think that would be a good fight for her. Well, I think she did say she wanted that or Mackenzie Dern, and she got her wish with Mackenzie Dern, and you saw what happened. But we can backtrack now, and Angela Hill, after coming off that dominant loss, beat down by Mackenzie Dern, Angela Hill definitely has to fight down now. I mean, Angela Hill's been in this game for a while, and to me, she just can't get up that hill. So she has that number 14 spot. To me, that's kind of up for grabs right now. She's fought just about everybody in the division on this lower half, and with where she stands, I think that would be a good place for Karolina Kowalkiewicz to try to step in at, against her, because I hate to say it, but I think that would be more, not really a guaranteed win for Karolina, but I think Karolina, with her straight punches and her much sharper striking and just her overall commitment to where her mind is right now and just commitment to her punches, I think that she could get a victory over Angela Hill a little bit easier than Luana Pinero at this point, because the judges would be on Luana Pinero's side, in my opinion, and she is strong too, so there'd be those moments where she could possibly, control Karolina. But a fight like Angela Hill, I think she could go in there and control it with her strikes because she's much more committed, like I said, and she will let the volume go. And I think her ground game is solid as well. She could get Angela Hill down, control, or just jab Angela Hill. Angela Hill's just kind of lacking in the IQ sometimes. She just won't pull the trigger, or she just won't commit to her strength. So that's a name for her to get in there with real quick, all right? Now, honorable mention here, because I usually do 3, but honorable mention here, I would have to say the next one I would probably pick for Karolina Kowalkiewicz would be the winner of Tabitha Ricci versus Jillian Robertson, which I believe is taking place next month. That would be a good fight for Karolina as well, because Jillian is trying to get in she's trying to get in a top 15 fight against Tabitha Ricci, which is a smart move for her. So whoever wins that fight, I think that would be a good matchup for Karolina too. I don't know. I just like that style of Karolina versus Jillian Robertson. You know, that would be another good test for Karolina, her ground game and her takedown defense, and also to see if Jillian Robertson can get past a better striker / brawler. You know, just the way Karolina commits to her punches, I think that would be trouble for Jillian Robertson. And see if she can really make the right adjustments against these strikers in here, you know, at this point. And if Tabitha Ricci was to win, that would be another young gun that Karolina can go in there and test herself against. You know, a young lion, see if she can shut him down, see if she can school him and break her way into that top 15 spot. All right. So, yeah, those are the names I have for her. I mean, you could really go in any direction with Karolina right now. You could either say she could just fight on the unranked circuit. You just fight more unranked fighters like there's a Sam Hughes, Loma Labugni, the winner, Jinu Fry, Elise Reed, if you feel that way for her, which I was kind of feeling a couple of fights back. You know, I was kind of worried for Karolina's health, you know, but with the way she's been improving in her last 3 fights, just enough, you know, to beat a lot of these young fighters and some of these older fighters, I believe that she deserves a chance right now, because at top 15, when you look at it, there's a lot of old heads there right now, and there's a lot of fighters that are moving up the flyweight or taking breaks. You know, you got the fighters like Rose, who's out for a while, Carla, Tisha, Amanda Ebos, other fighters like Marina Rodriguez, who have to fight their way down. You know, Jessica Andrade, we don't know when she's coming back. So, you know, the division is got a lot of good fighters and a lot of good matchups that are going to be made, but there's a lot of fighters that are, you know, just kind of taking a break right now. So I think it's a good chance. It's a good time for Karolina to step in. And again, like I said, why not? If she changed her lifestyle and she's making the right changes in her game, I believe she deserves that chance. You know, no need to kind of hold her back, because again, she's on a clock. And if she's showing more hunger and more improvements than some of these other fighters, why not? You know, fighters like Yasmin Jauregui, they've already stated that they don't want to rush. They don't want to rush to the top 15. So fighters like her that have time on their side, that have time on their side, that don't have to rush, you know, there's no reason for them to try to, you know, go in there right now and, you know, get schooled or anything like that. They can just continue to improve where they're at. But a fighter like Karolina, time ain't on her side. You know, time ain't on her side, so she's got to get in there now and make this second coming again and see if she can break into the top 15, maybe eventually the top 10, you know. So, again, final thoughts. I like these fights for Karolina, Angela Hill, Luana Pinero, Michelle Waterson, or the Ricci Robertson winner. All those are good names for Karolina. And if she looks better in this fight than she did in her last 3 fights, then she'll keep moving up. So, you know, not going to deny her that. She's been making the right changes. What do y'all guys think? Let me know who's next for Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe.